Still looking to earn your invite for the free Players Championship? Visit ppgeventmanagement.com to learn about the different qualifiers available. From one-day events to play-on-your-own-schedule events, all events offer a buyback or cash option along with a 100% credit option redeemable towards any future pre-order at competitive prices. Grinding and getting paid to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Has never been easier. Play with the most professional worldwide tournament series today and join the online community. Come join us on Discord for assistance, info, and even discussions about future events.
My co-commentator Mambo YuGiOh, who is joining me on this journey of self-discovery and a distinct lack of adamantipator knowledge. How are you doing today?
We've learned a lot today, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah. About life, about each other.
Mm-hmm. It's been special. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into a game here. We have Fan 31. We see some dinosaurs, a deck that we've seen a little bit today, a deck we've been talking about a lot as being probably the biggest, one of the biggest for sure, one of the top two biggest benefactors from the custom ban list we're using here. For anybody not aware, we have banned Crystron Helcafibrax, Block Dragon, and there is a limit on Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine for this event.
So, as a result, a lot of the decks that were okay, but we're having trouble competing with the metagame. Those are the dinosaurs of the format, the generator of the format, the invoked mechanite of the format, have really risen to full height here. Unfortunately, the Secure Gardna plus Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is prime fodder for a Mud Dragon of the Swamp.
That it is, and we see the Secure Gardna here. This is, again, sort of a new wave. I don't know how new, but it's been kind of coming a little bit more popular now with Helcafibrax out of this event. In particular, this build has really risen in popularity. The Animadorn Archosaur being a level 1 gives access to Blinkaribo, which can then go into Secure Gardna to give you instant food for that double evolution pill. Unfortunately, Secure Gardna can't be linked away, and in this scenario, it is just free for super polymerization with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which I think a lot of people forget is a light attribute.
Yeah, it works pretty well in a lot of these scenarios. Just a set 2 and pass, and I certainly hope that that's going to be enough to stem the bleeding. But if any deck can continue to put pressure on, it's Dinosaur, and Fossil Dig is the first step to any of their plays.
Yeah, Fossil Dig, just such an incredible card. But Ash Blossom, again, meets that searcher. I believe the Ash Blossom was used turn 1 as well. We got it a little late. Not sure exactly what card it was used on, but the Ash Blossoms are really becoming a problem right now.
And while Dinosaur is extremally powerful, if it can't get up and running, you know, it will eventually run out of steam. Getting it again with this Mud Dragon of the Swamp. I am shocked that whatever Adam is on, they have not been able to assemble anything past these 2 cards.
Yeah, pretty slow hand. We do. This is game 1, so we do know that there's a super polymerization in the main, so most likely some sort of stun or control deck. And we get to see another little nice addition. As the Dino decks have become a little bit more streamlined in their extra deck, it makes room for cards like Pot of Extravagance. And really all Graboid Fan needs here is something that can get into this token, and that can then, Lost World can of course protect, send to graveyard one of the babies, which can get over after, and then you can just get off to the races there.
Excellent.
But.
And there it is. Okay, well, sometimes this happens.
Yeah. A little bit unfortunate, just the hand traps used at the correct time, well played by Adam to slow down the game. And, you know, yeah, in this scenario, they're starting to put themselves on a clock in a sense where a simple top deck Overraptor or being able to get through to that token really can blow the game wide open. That was the quickest battle phase declare I've ever seen in my entire life.
Playing for time. All right, another hit, but I mean, realistically, your opponent's eventually going to find something.
Yeah, right now we're basically watching Go Farm have it with some uglier looking cards. But we finally find Dino Wrestler Pankratops off the top, and that, it doesn't get a lot better than that.
That's a good one. Cratops is an insanely powerful card, and hilariously also triggers Lost World.
Yeah, really the only direct hit the Dino deck has received over the last couple ban lists has been that Pankratops to 1, as obviously it was one of the best abusers of that card. I'm going to swing into the token. The Mud Dragon, far from a threat. Just basically a 1900 vanilla in this case. Unless
This is interesting. Is that token actually a token? Because if so, Lost World shouldn't be able to give their opponent a token.
No, you can give multiple tokens, if I remember right.
What am I thinking of? Unless your opponent controls a token. Huh.
Not sure.
That's the Mandela effect. I promised the last time I read this card it was balanced.
Everybody claims that. Lost World is another one of those super cool field spells, similar to Hidden City, where it has about 3 or 4 different effects on it, and you always almost forget one.
Yeah, you only got to forget one before you never forget it again.
Yeah, how many times have you declared an effect trying to target something, and they said, no, you have to target the token, and you go, do I have to? And they say, yep, and they're already halfway through their deck finding a baby.
Do I have to? Yes, you do. I'm sorry, I will not allow you to take it back.
Yeah. Sorry, Overactor effect? Oh. And this is great, too, because this has a lot of damage steps, so even there was a third Ash Blossom, or something, I guess, like a Impermanence or Ghost Mourner, they can't use that on the Overactor. Ghost Mourner, especially now. Actually, because of Lost World, they can't target it at all.
Hilarious. Right from this position, they're going to activate the effect of Mud Dragon of the Swamp, very important, changing it to dark and preventing the targeting of similar monsters.
Yup.
It's going to be met with an infinite impermanence, but oh, that is actually, is that legal? Can you target Mud Dragon of the Swamp with an infinite impermanence?
Your opponent cannot target this card or monsters on the field with the same attribute as this card with card effects. They cannot.
Let me see if I can get this solved real quick.
Yeah. And hopefully we can get onto that quick. I said this card was a vanilla. I never knew it even had that.
Oh, yeah, Mud Dragon of the Swamp's effect comes up very rarely, but every time it does, boy, is it shocking.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, apparently...
looks like Pascal Keem, our on-staff judge, is intervening here. Shouts out to Pascal, just an absolute chonker of a streamer, a judge. They're managing 400 people. I mean, it's just amazing.
Chonker is such an interesting word to describe Pascal. Have you ever seen him?
Well, a content chonker.
There you go, okay. My mistake. But yeah, we're going... it looks like Pascal is going to try and get us back to the correct game state. Fortunately, not too difficult here. We know that was Super Poly. We set that, get a token back, put the Pankratops on board, and we're pretty much right back where we are. Get the Impermanence, and then they can continue to do the original play they were looking for with the Mud Dragon turning to dark, flipping the second copy of Super Polymerization.
That matters pretty immensely, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good play there, I think, by Adam to know you can do that, and then that can get you access to the starting Venom Fusion Dragon. So yeah, we'll take a quick minute while we have our judge go through the logs here and try to fix the game state. Fortunately, I think this is quite easy to fix. From here, I really want to know what our player in blue is on. We have only seen, basically they're playing Super Poly Turbo with about 15 hand traps. That's all we know for a fact.
Yeah. So, the way this is going to resolve is that it's being chained to the activation of Mud Dragon, but Mud Dragon's first effect is continuous. It doesn't matter if it's not dark to begin with. You can't target any water monsters while it is a water monster.
Yeah, essentially, it itself cannot be targeted, and then it more or less grants a continuous effect to the rest of the monsters on the itself.
All right, so it looks like we actually are going to get a super polymerization out of this bad boy.
Yeah. And it's not too bad. You do get to still keep your impermanence. You do still have access to the Dino Rest for Pankratops. So it could be much, much worse. And the Starving Venom, not a huge threat, particularly. I suppose it will gain a handful of attack, though.
It gains a handful of attack for now.
Yeah.
Your opponent's monster is a dinosaur, and yours isn't. And I don't believe... Does this affect target? It does not, for some unbelievable reason.
It doesn't. Wow.
So the Pankratops will remain at 26, and once the attack boost goes down on this copy of Starving Venom, it will be down 500 and will be 23. Easy to run over with the Pankratops, and at that point, you don't really care if your monsters are destroyed.
Yeah, still not a bad position at all for our Dino player. The two tokens there pretty much mean you have not exactly like an infinite source of plays here, but they are obviously posing a pretty big threat as your opponent cannot target anything other than those tokens. And then anytime you're able to actually try and destroy one of those tokens, you can then start getting your plays rolling by being able to use Lost World's protection.
Lost World's protection effect is just about the most frustrating thing on the face of the earth. Like, the card is already so powerful insofar as it prevents targeting, it enables Soul Eating Overraptor lines by targeting your opponent's cards, but the protection effect sending a baby Ceratosaurus from deck, boy, it feels unfair.
It's funny to see all of the sort of dinosaur cards are now just almost this beautiful amalgamation of just any good dinosaur dot deck.
Hilariously.
Yeah.
I think you could actually use Starving Venom Fusion Dragon's Pankratops effect to pop Lost World. Use it on Pank because that targets and you can't target anything but tokens. But you can still target spells and traps. Does it work the way I want?
A Starving Venom, target a level 5 or higher monster. I don't think I need to read anything else there. Nope.
I see. Hey, these are two different effects. Attack and targeting your monsters. They're two different effects? This card is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, Venom largely used... I mean, it's almost vanilla half the time you see it. Pretty rare.
This is the most I've ever seen on vanilla.
Yeah, I swear I'm trying to rack my brain really hard for scenarios where either of those effects wound up being important, but I just cannot find it.
Occasionally you get the proc off the fusion summon monster being destroyed, but that's about the extent of it.
Oh yeah, we have not normal summoned yet, so we do have the Animador and Archosaur. I don't believe we've normal summoned.
That's a good one. That's the set card. Is it Solemn?
This hopefully will give us enough information to actually make a call on what the player in blue is playing, as we have still seen nothing but vanilla. Yeah. Interesting here, though. I mean, if this set card is something like Impermanence or, I don't know, Compulse, won't do a whole lot thanks to these little tokens over there. And the Archosaur, they say okay, so it looks like this will resolve. Now, they've already gone through their Secure Gardna. Oh, Miscellaneous Source, interesting. But they've already gone through their Secure Gardna with the Link Rebo play, which means they won't be able to quickly fill... Well, they already have a Secure Gardna Graveyard, right? So, the Double Evolution Pill is live here for a second copy of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, if they have it. We're going to get the resolution of Archosaur. We're just trying. Looks like they're trying to make sure everyone's on the same page of the effects going off here.
Frustrating the Miscellaneousaurus is the send and has a hand send ability. At res, we're going to double Evo this Miscellaneousaurus out of the graveyard, looks like.
Smart play. Miscellaneousaurus being... the card's just absolutely incredible. And of course, given the amount of dinos they have in graveyard, would have been able to give access to Soul-Eating Overraptor on the next play and the Giant Rex that's in the graveyard there. Gonna go ahead and fire off the Pankratops. We'll see what the target here is. They've already used Lost World's protection effect this turn, which fortunately that card is not more than once per turn.
Possibly be the set card?
I'd imagine so. If you have the Pill and you have the Archosaur, you have enough to go here. They're going to go for Venom anyway. The back row, depending on what it is, probably can't really be used thanks to tokens on board, and our player in blue hasn't shown that they have Link Rebo or anything generic that they can link these bad boys away into.
Here comes the double Evo Pill. I imagine we'll be seeing Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, but you know what would be funny is if we saw Coddles instead.
Just one
card. And then afterwards, of course, we'll saw the effective Giant Rex.
Yes. I think this Giant Rex is going to be pretty significant. 2,600. You're going to gain 200 for each banished dinosaur here, so it's pretty big. It's just so hard to tell exactly where we're going to go from here since we have basically no information on what our player in blue is playing outside of several hand traps and super polymerization.
Yeah, we've seen 2 super polys now. I'm trying to think what deck would hastily do that.
You know, we have seen an evenly matched, so this is some sort of dedicated go deck, interestingly enough. Altergeist, maybe, with a tech evenly matched. Oh, no!
Oh, please! No, please! Not
Okay.
like this!
All right, now hold on. This Dino is actually, funnily enough, one of the few decks that can handle mine since they can give your opponent tokens. But I don't... right now, it's tough.
This might seem stupid, but I think that this isn't a dedicated mind strategy.
I don't think so.
Why would a mind deck be playing main deck super polymerization, for example?
Or in hand traps as well, yeah. Now, funnily enough, if this is the Dino deck I'm thinking of, or it's at least alluded to be one of the variant of the deck that plays the Saborg Link and all that kind of stuff, they don't have a Nightmare Phoenix. So this Mystic Mind, they're pretty much going to have to link down into, I guess, Reaperdocus, and then just pass.
I mean, that does the trick. It's not pretty, but it does the trick.
Unless, well, I suppose you could also try Reaperdocus, get into the Saborg Link. No, because then you're going to have to put the Barrier Statue on the field, so that doesn't work. You could link away Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, but for you kids at home, I would never do that under pretty much any circumstance.
Yeah.
We saw... Oh, well, what do I know?
This is kind of cute. You can get in for 2,600 and then preserve it with the Lost World, even though you've put in damage. I don't know if it's good, but it's very funny.
It's not bad, certainly. It's 2,600. You can protect, but you're going to have to put another card on board unless... I can't think of another
just
target.
Or a Seleniusaurus or something.
True. Yeah, theoretically, you could keep them on this board state for, well, no, they actually just let the token go.
Interesting.
And theoretically, you could have left it on that board. Maybe they want the mine up, but I can't imagine why.
I'm completely confused as to that play.
Yeah, I have no answers for you either. And this is just Pentastack Giant Rex. They only have 5 cards left in the extra after firing off an Extravagance and utilizing some of the others. And I don't think this particular Dino, if it is the variant I'm thinking of, has a lot of other options outside of what you're currently seeing. And I think that's 2 Ultimate Conductor. That might be all that's in the list.
I am absolutely appalled at that play. I thought that they would, at the very minimum, use Lost World to replace it.
Yeah, I struggle to find an answer for that one. And yeah, what can you do? It's so interesting. But yeah, Mystic Mind, we're now seeing the benefit of adding that card to your deck is you can just sit on this card forever until you are able to find your win condition. And yeah, we are now here at peak YuGiOh.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. So what are you going to download for your Switch then?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I mean, problem is the game that I want to play on it is Doom Eternal because they have that super invasive like cheat engine on the PC. But it's not on the store, so I have to actually go to Walmart. And now I have to weigh, do I want to go outside? Do I want to go to Walmart in the middle of a pandemic? Do I want to step foot in those unhallowed halls when I could sit in front of a screen and watch Mystic Mind gameplay for the next 9 hours? And I think the answer to that is no.
Outside of a pandemic, going to Walmart is just an L.
It feels like a pandemic, even when it's not a pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, it could be worse. You could have to be forced to go to GameStop. So it could be so much worse.
Copy that. Whatever happened to GameStop? I remember early in the pandemic, they were like, we're an essential business, don't worry. People said, no, you're not. Sell video games.
They got shut down like government officials came in and said, well, what are you guys doing?
Imagine being like the government official designed to like personally arrest the CEO of GameStop. That's a personal goal of mine.
That's man. Imagine that's just what your legacy would be. Yeah, I took down the CEO of GameStop during the great pandemic of 2020. That'd be so hype.
Oh yeah, you'd have like a framed portrait of you having like a neck-bearded guy in handcuffs. What is going on here? Come on.
I mean, what is there to talk about in this game? We still don't even know what our player on blue is on because they've just sat on Mystic Mind. And unfortunately,
recording the hand size. Give us some information.
Yeah, I don't want to say it, but I think we do have to. Wait, it's Penguin time. Wait,
would you summon this? What are you doing?
You can Oh, they could have given him a token off the lost road. Okay, so we're going to quickly fire off Pank into a Called by the Grave, which means we're right back to square one, baby. Now, again,
finishing the Pank. Why banish the Pank?
You could have given them a token off of the Lost World, because this is just when a Dino hits the board, if I remember right. Once returned, if a Dino monster is normal or special summoned. Yeah, a little bit of a missed opportunity there again.
So that's an out.
This is an L for everybody involved, I'm thinking, but
this is one of the deals I've ever had the privilege of viewing.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? I think we all know what to do, and that is in this climate. I think we all take up our pens, our keyboards, and we write to whoever the CEO of YuGiOh is, and we kindly request Mystic Mind goes away. Now, there's the barrier statue.
Really gonna watch set pass. You're not playing Cosmic Cyclone in this deck, really?
Worst part is if you want to draw this out for another 30 minutes on the timer, you lose because you're down on life points.
I cannot fathom why they didn't use the replacement effect. Cannot fathom why they went for a piercing play.
If you also
do not know what they
if you draw any dinos here, you can give them a token, and then you can still link away into other cards. Here we go.
They could link into other cards. They would have done it already.
Look, man, I'm just trying to get us out of this one. But why pass?
Oh, man.
Surely you have a Reaperdocus. You can normally over after giving him a token, go into Reaperdocus, and Mystic Mind and die in the end phase. All we know is this is the heaviest go second deck. This is game one, right?
This is game one, yes.
Evenly matched in the main, Super Poly in the main, Lightning. This is literally just the go second deck.
It's not Mystic Mind. It's just a deck play. Oh my god.
Oh,
okay,
no.
well we know there's nothing extra now.
I think that's it. If you don't have Cosmic Cyclone in the main, what do you do now?
Because 9 cards. So it's going to come to a head pretty soon.
And at this point, you got to scoop. You got to go to game two. You're what, 20 minutes left in the round? Yeah, about that much. This is a problem.
They summoned a card. Holy hell, it's a...
Wow.
Right, sure, go for it.
You don't even need to do this.
Take that, idiot.
Anything.
Oh my god, we did it! We got a Mystic Mine!
Let's see. We have 2 Ash Blossom are down. Infinite Permanence is fired. They have to have Invocation. I mean, I'd be stunned if not. But at this point, you've given your opponent 17 million turns to draw it out. Though they did discard them as to maintain hand size for game maintenance. So this is so weird.
Another one in hand. We're gonna have to contend with like Ash Blossom and probably like a DD Crow or something too. This is a good way to make sure that all of that resolves.
What a game!
Would you call this a game? Would you call this a game?
I feel like I'm getting gamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Response to the invocation. Okay, sure.
Yeah. And at this point, you have to have fodder for the Madness Invoker. You just grab yourself another invocation and keep going. Yeah. It looks like that's what they want to do.
We're going to go for the that Invoker effect now. Purgatrio does end the game, I believe?
I'd be surprised if not, because we're looking at this. Giant Rex is at 2,600. Purgatrio will be bumped by 800 to 31, so you're dealing 15 plus Purgatrio math's hard 300. Yeah, that's plenty of game. 18, and then you see Mechaba and Madness on the board.
Oh, not with face-up cards, you won't.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be an invocation activation. There we go.
They're kind of the same.
Yeah. Both of them win the game.
In this scenario, they sure do.
We've got a lot of ashes. Here's Purgatrio. We have an A-lister in hand. One of these is going to be big enough. Let's go to battle phase and wrap this one up.
So we'll go into game 2. Hope a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser on this. Do you think there was ever a world where you look at your opponent's 9 cards in deck and you think, you know what, I'll just keep them mine. I don't need to give them any info. Or were you too afraid of them remembering Lost World?
I will absolutely continue to allow my opponent to do nothing.
Yeah.
Regardless, this is going to be the end of the game.
Yeah, so...
Infip the Purg.
Sure.
That's fine.
Oh! Columns!
Oh, a bunga! A Pensatag now, a complete piece of garbage. And going to take a quadrillion damage.
15 plus now 1,000, so 25, and the rest of the math doesn't really matter. This is plenty of damage.
Let's see the gores.
Actually, they die before cores can come down, and they control Lost World.
Let's see the Battle Fader.
There
Let's
you
see
go.
Necros Valkyrus.
We haven't seen a lot of Necros Valkyrus today. Oh yeah, now we have to do some weird math thanks to Lost World.
Right, so he's got plus 900 plus 1,000, so 14 over his normal.
And actually, now that I think about it, all these monsters are also not dinos, so it doesn't matter. They're still taking a lot of damage.
All right,
taking the same amount.
We did it. We did it. Oh, we did it. Let's go. I don't want to be too harsh on either of these players. I feel like if you had just Mystic Mine go to the graveyard the turn that you attacked over a token in defense position, you would have won the game.
Yeah, you would have. I don't. There's really no way to kind of sugarcoat it, but that is 100% the scenario you had there. Was you really just need to focus on getting rid of the mine and then playing from there. I believe it's been linking away the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno as well. I joked about it, but then it happened, and I started hearing the Twilight Zone music come in. Such an interesting build of Invoked as well, that Lightning Storms in the main, Super Polys in the main, evenly matched in the main. I wonder if there's even Mech Knights in it, or if it's just, we also joked about the 23 hand trap Invoked deck, but here we are, and again, I'm hearing that music.
Who's joking? Who's joking?
So that's such an interesting thing about
this list. Nothing about this list except that there's Invoked. And I feel pretty confident that that's actually all that's being played.
I agree. So our Dino player is going to allow the Invoked player, pure Invoked, I suppose, to go first, which makes sense.
Yeah, fine.
Well, does it make sense? Because maybe they're still operating under the that it Mech Knight, but then again, they saw the 18 sideboard cards. Well, no, not sideboard, but going second cards that were in the main deck.
I found the list. Ready?
Perfect.
I'm gonna lay this on you.
Hold on, I'm gonna take a swig from the Red Bull before you lay this on me.
Take a big sip, and I'm gonna tell you what's
Go.
what's in this deck.
Go.
3 A-lister, 3 Ash, 2 DD Crow, 1 Pank, 2 Veiler, 2 Sticky String, 3 Invoked, or 3 Invocation, 3 Storm, 3 Meltdown, 2 Mine, 3
Can I stop you?
Desires,
I don't want to hear anymore.
Set Rotation, 3 Super Poly, Terraforming, Upstart, Triple Evenly, Triple Infip, Metaverse. That's the whole deck. The board, 9 hand traps, 3 Cosmic, 3 only 1. The extra, literally 15 Super Poly targets. And then like
Wow.
Makaba and a Purg.
Jeez.
Like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this is peak Yu-Gi-Oh! It doesn't get better than this!
George, can you play the Twilight Zone theme? I'm lost. I'm so lost.
You
Hey, let's-
gunned it down.
Yeah. Speaking of Lost, Fossil Dig comes out. Are we going to see Lost World? Nope, we're going to see the better version of Rhoda go off twice.
This is really cool. I love that there's no OPT on this card.
Yeah. Yeah, does anybody remember Duelist Alliance when Reinforcement of the Army went to 3, and how good of an idea that wound up being right after Teller Knights dropped?
By the way, shouts out to the 9 people in this 400-person tournament playing Hero, and the 0 people who are topping with Hero. See you, chat. I am looking for players, but there's not very many.
Is it already over? Are like all the Hero players out? Well, another interesting turn of events is we see the Overraptor responded by Mechabut, but they knew they had the Misk, but their answer to that was Artifact Lancia, so the Misk is turned off at the very least, which is good. Now that does take away your ability to banish for Animador and Archosaur and slow down the play significantly, but
Something.
it's something for sure. No Lost World, though. That actually might be good enough. We'll find out. And
Very much a Yami Bakura moment. I will say as silly as this is, and as ridiculous as these setups are, I am very happy to be casting Dinosaur over Dinosaur that ends on True King of All Calamities every single turn. It's really, really cool to see Animador and Archosaur doing kind of what it was intended to do, and enabling powerful OTK plays, not necessarily game-ending ones, and I'm just getting a lot of value out of these cards. We're walking into Makaba? What? Why?
what?
What, are you going to evenly the 1 card on field? In a Lightning Storm? Nope! And thus did the Miner become the Miney! Oh!
I think we took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. We keep ending up with this freaking guy draining all of our power. This guy, oh my god.
Just don't know what to say. Folks, Maybe I was wrong and the scrubs were right. We should have banned Mystic Mine just for my own mental health.
And that's on self-care, baby. Take care of yourselves out there, Chad. All right, speaking of self-care, so you were telling me about the Just Dance 2020 stream. You want to plug that real quick?
Yeah. For anyone who is interested in the life and times of MBT Yu-Gi-Oh, this Monday, June 15th, is a celebration of 25K subs, Twitch partnership, and my birthday, which is a couple of days later. I'm going to be doing a 24-hour stream. I'll be playing a lot of non-Yu-Gi-Oh, so I won't have to be staring at Mystic Mine. And one of those things I'll be playing is Just Dance 2020, the greatest game ever made. You can dance to Hatsune Miku songs. I'm really pogging out over here. It is also a charity stream. Any donations will be sourced to a Minnesota Freedom Fund list of charities because they've already reached all of their donation goals for the year, and I will be matching donations up to 500. So I guess tune in for that.
Very nice. Back to the game, we see Purgatorio come out. And,
why? Does it look cute?
Purgatorio does. This might be the ugliest looking card in the game. I actually don't even. When I look at this card's art, I don't know what's going on in it.
There's like an egg involved. I really could not. It looks like. Have you seen that image that's developed by a neural network, and it's meant to be like name one thing in this picture?
Oh yeah, like kind of like a Rorschach kind of thing.
There's like maybe 3 of them. There's like an egg and like a bear and maybe like a guy in a gimp suit with a drill on his head. I really could not explain to you what's going on.
So, in a weird way, this card sort of depicts the plot of Pulp Fiction.
Really?
Sort of, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got the gimp. We've got the egg is Bruce Willis.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look at his head. Shout out to Bruce Willis, by the way.
Is this actually? Yo, I could get behind this interpretation.
You know what? Welcome to my TED Talk, everybody. So, symbolism in Yu-Gi-Oh! Welcome. Invoked Purgatory.
It's all the Quentin Tarantino films.
Which one is Mechaba? Let's think. I
don't know. It's kind of like a car. Be death proof. Oh, Mechaba has like machines fused to. No, I'm reaching.
This bit's kind of. We're reaching a little bit too much. Anyway, unfortunately we could commentate the match, but all we've seen is in the last 3 turns was an invocation, make Purgatorio go into Alistair Madness into pass about 2 or 3 times. Now here's the thing:
if you're not getting better than this, chat, please activate Lost World. I am begging you, activate Lost World. Let's go!
Pog! Drop your poggers and chat. Let's go! Alright.
Okay.
Now here's
the
the
Lost
thing.
World means that we get to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. Soul Eating Overraptor is going to be met with a hand trap 1,000,000%.
Effect Veiler just absolutely sends us right back to school. Oh, they said okay.
Oh my god, it resolved.
They've consented to the Overraptor.
We've got probably going to add what? An Animadorned Archosaur?
Probably missed to go for Animadorned. I don't remember what they added off of that second fossil dig, unfortunately, because we were talking about Pulp Fiction or something. Not DD Crow, though.
And that's annoying. That DD Crow is actually extremely annoying, but not that big of a deal. It doesn't have a xenophobic clause. You can use OV to target the token to summon the OV in graveyard. Of course, replace the token's destruction with the baby Ceresaurus. That baby can go ahead and get whatever you want, and from here we can pop off.
Yeah, from here, too, Lost World is also still active, meaning this Madness Invoker is just at 1,300, so you can easily walk over that, hit the token, replace it, and then you can continue to go off from there. Or we can also go for the Animadorned Archosaur and really try to push something through. Actually, yeah, with this particular setup, they now they'll have Link Rebo available. They might be able to walk over the board and then still set up the Samor play And unless they're on a copy of Ragin and somehow find any other win, I don't think they're going to be able to play underneath that card if they can find the line.
It's got what, 1,000 attack and defense?
Yes, it'll be 500 though, since I think it's a wing piece, so the Lost World will bump it down. So it can be outed by just hit it with Alistair.
Well, Alistair will also be 500.
Oh, correct, yeah. Also, they'll have to stare down odds, but unfortunately, it looks like this is the line of play they want to go for.
All right, it is time to activate the pill. Have an Ash, go for it now.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, one of the funny things you see with these sort of stall fests with Mystic Mine is sometimes you end up in that position where you're like, well, I have to go for game because I'm down on life points, down in cards, like Graboid Fan was in that scenario. So you have to force a play through, but in that scenario, you've given your opponent 3 turns to find hand traps. But in this case, they only found DD Crow, which was not quite good enough to stop everything we're currently seeing.
Just kind of crusty. You kind of want to go into Simorg now because Giant Rex does literally nothing in terms of life points. But if you do, and your opponent has something like an evenly matched, which, I mean, you probably are predicting they have something similar, you might actually be in for a really rough time.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like they're going to opt for Dolka instead, which I think that is in this scenario the most important card you want to end on.
So this Ultimate Tyranno is going to do a quadrillion damage here.
Yeah. Now, again, we could have left the... We could have put the Dolka not underneath the Reaperdocus. Could have protected the token. I think we still have access to some babies. Got another card out, swung for a little bit more damage, and then also still found our Simorg play.
Unfortunately, that protection is once per turn per copy of Lost World.
Oh, that's right.
We
Overraptor, correct.
Can you imagine?
No.
Overraptor your token, UTC your token, protect. Pensatag your token, protect. A good game.
One of my all-time favorite local-isms when you're at locals is when one of the homies, but, you know, not particularly super skilled players, like, man, I sure wish this card did this thing that would make it way too broken.
Yeah.
I
sure wish TK'd my opponent.
My favorite one ever was somebody asked me, do you think a Pot of Czars would be really good if it did banish face down? And I was like, you know what? It might just be. It might be really good.
Be a plus 12.
Yeah.
Unironically,
it might be pretty darn good.
Okay, so Pot of Desires. We're gonna go Chainlink 1 Hawk, Chainlink 2 Dark, Chainlink 3 Roar. Good game.
What?
It's invocation time, baby. Here comes Makaba again.
Now, Makaba is...
We're able to draw into double invocation here.
Naturally. I mean, what else would you expect more than anything? But now, of course, as we go to end of phase 1. What's that?
That explains the lack of hand traps in the hand.
Yeah, good point.
Go for Conductor here on Reproducus. You gotta negate it, or else you're dead on the Crackback, but then you can negate the negation with Dolka. I mean, kind of a no-win scenario.
Yeah, not a whole lot you can really do here. Yeah, they'll have to resolve it, and then fortunately has some fuel in hand to replace with it.
And that's going to be the end of game 2. The winner of the first 2 games has been the one who Mystic Mind first.
Is that just like a new slogan or like YuGiism we can come up with? He who Mystic Minds first, or I should say they who Mystic Mind first win.
They who Mystic Mind first, Mystic Mind hardest.
Beautiful.
My prediction is going to be the winner of this game is going to be the first one who activates Mystic Mind.
Yeah. I think we could write that on. I think like Jeff Leonard, we could write that on his grave. They who Mystic Mind first, Mystic Mind hardest.
He's not having a good tournament.
No, that's a shame.
I can bring you a couple of updates about the games that are still going on. Safwan on Unchained has picked up. They are, I believe, still X1 on this thing after 5 rounds of contention. Sir Eminon has dropped. That means they are X2, I believe, and unfortunately likely out of contention. Jason Leonard is X1 as well on Dinosaur, if I'm recalling correctly. The Dinos, who we were looking at earlier as well, picked up, and I believe is one of our very few remaining undefeateds.
A handful of undefeated players playing. We are looking at Isidore, who we checked in on earlier, still appears to be in the game. For any of you other YuGiTuber fans out there, Bear YuGiOh is still sitting at X1. And it looks like we have about, it's not a lot of time, 2 minutes, if that, left in the round.
Yeah, Graboid fans starting with an Animadorned Archosaur using its effect to destroy a Baby Ceratosaurus. We're going to get a copy of Soul Eating Oviraptor off of this. And I mean, are you on Cowboy? That's really what's going to determine if you win this one.
Oh, you know what? I think they do have a 3-minute time extension, if I remember right. So
you do from the
yeah, that's right. Now, the thing is here, you've seen your opponent, game 1, played 3 Super Poly, 3 evenly matched, 3... Well, you didn't see quite 3, but you saw that they were very clearly on all of those cards. How do you kind of play this? Because you're not necessarily setting up calamities or anything like that, assuming that they go for the more standard line of play into the Samord Link monster. And then, of course, summon everything in defense position. You can at least get around the Lightning Storm, but this is a little scary.
Honestly, I probably pick second. Probably pick second and try to take a 5-minute turn. Not particularly difficult in this format or with these cards. But with the knowledge that my opponent is going to really struggle to put out damage on the first turn, and the knowledge that a lot of their cards are going to be dead if I just force them on first, I'd probably just try to get myself into a board state where like an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno will resolve.
Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, definitely, that has to be your crutch right here, the card that you really are hoping can win you this game. Looks like they are going to at least go for most everything here. Yeah, actually, they do have the whole setup that you're looking for. The Samorg, Ebelzar, Dolka, and the Ultimate Conductor. Smartly summoned in defense position. Keep it safe.
This is good, but looks like it's going to force a tie, honestly. This is the last opportunity they have to Nibiru, is why Graboid is asking.
Correct.
Here comes the Dolka. The Beast.
All right.
And Link.
So this is I mean, really the gamble, because there's really not much you can do to prevent all of the crazy stuff.
Beer is cool, but we have a Dolka on our side of the field for a reason.
Oh,
crazy!
Absolute
well,
breaker. Now activate Mystic Mind. Now, was Miscellaneousaurus activated this turn? It was not.
They do have time extension.
Unless Miscellaneousaurus in hand can save the ultimate. Their Miscellaneousaurus was used. Okay, cool. So Miscellaneousaurus does protect from activated effects, meaning the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno actually survives the meteor extinction. How about that?
That's actually a huge problem.
Very big.
Because of that, it's going to be really hard to walk through anything, really. They just have to set the things face down, and as long as they have negation for very specifically Macabre, they'll be fine. Ooh, Ash Blossom
on the Open Desires is absolutely enormous right here. This could be one of those weird scenarios. Now with the Nibiru, you've also turned off anything like an evenly matched or a Lightning Storm as well, which Lightning Storm not super useful, but oh, that's pretty good.
It's a pretty good card. It gets a little screwy here because it's going to depend on what the card in the hand is. If that's a card you want to be destroyed with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, it doesn't really matter, but if it isn't, it's a really clean answer to UCT. Looks like we are going for it now on the back row. Whoa, what is in hand? Invoked. I would consider flipping Infip just to potentially get your opponent.
Yeah, there's really no reason not to. Just to put on that lingering continuous effect and permanent tabs on that zone. Really no reason to not. Just like you said, you could really steal the game just off your opponent not paying enough attention.
So Invo's sweet, but you kind of have to go into Purg so that you can walk over all of your opponent's cards. And Purg does not have any negation, will be very weak to Ultimate Conductor Tyranno.
Yeah, because you have to go to Mechaba to not lose to Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and you can out it if you use Alistair's effect and damage stat, but then... Now this token, that's just 1,700 defense points as well, as Dolka was the only thing with defense points successfully attributed. So the Nibiru can walk over that and you can out the board, but then... Do you really want to play for a draw right now? You got to figure out a way.
I think honestly you're pretty happy playing for a draw. The pair of you go X1 and 1. Top from that position.
True. Yeah, I believe this is a top 16 cut this week due to the number of participants, so you're not wrong.
We are going to go for the Macabre, as you expected, but again, I mean, you really need something else on the field if you want to be able to get over. Yeah, I don't know. I'd consider Ultimate Conducting in response to the Invocation effect, but I don't think I'd consider it very highly. That's kind of the only way you lose the game.
Battle phase it is. It looks like our predictions will play out here. Nibiru into its good friend. Yep. Okay. But you leave the onus on the Dino player to win the game here, and it's not easy to do. Well, it's a good start. Yeah, but it looks like time is up.
Able to check in the logs how much longer they have remaining.
A shame, too. The miscellaneous Taurus off the top there was really strong, too. That pretty much would have forced the Mechaba, since that would have allowed all of the Dinos to go through. And there is a giant Rexen Graveyard. There's plenty of fuel for Soul Eating Overraptor, which gives you the ability to chain block and so on and so forth. Unfortunate, but that is what it is. And at that game one, I tried to force it out of my memory, but yeah, that game one just being such an enigma of a YuGiOh game.
Back and forth. You know, I don't know if you're the dinosaur player and clearly did not have any outs in your deck to the main deck Mystic Mine.
Hey everyone, if you're enjoying the coverage of the Pro Play Tour Online series, just remember, you can play in one yourself. Every Thursday you can enter our free weekly 64-player tournament with invites to the entire Top Cut. Every Saturday is our weekend championship, where you can enter a YCS-type event with 100% payout and even a cash payout option. The more players, the bigger the prizes. Can't commit time to play in our one-day events? We also host multiple 8-man pods daily, ready to fire on demand on your own schedule. All these events award invites to our free invite-only Players Championship with prizes supplied by our sponsors. For more information, visit ppgeventmanagement.com and come play with the pros.